All right, guys. So with that, we're going to go ahead and start the first part of our three-part series on Medicare cross-selling. Now, this first meeting happened a little bit later in the month, but that was due to the first of the year. We'll have the next two on the first Wednesdays of February and March. So you could go ahead and mark that on your calendar. As we mentioned earlier today, we are joined by Ana Sanchez. She is our senior health expert. She's going to give you an introduction of who she is if you haven't met her before, but she's a fantastic resource, and I'm excited to do this presentation with her. So with that, Ana, you want to introduce yourself?
Absolutely. Yeah. Thanks, Tim, so much. My name is Ana Sanchez. I am the senior health expert here at IAMS. I'm a licensed agent, and gosh, I've been in the insurance industry for a little over 16 years now. So today's webinar is a portion of my Medicare presentation that I utilize when I'm sitting with my clients. So if you are interested in seeing the full presentation that I do utilize, let me know and we can set a time to discuss that information. But for today, we're going to be focused more on using Medicare to cross-sell into other product lines. So I have a couple of key areas that I gather information, and it enables me to get a lot of information from the client without really directly coming out and asking them. So it becomes a little less intimidating for them. And I normally do my face-to-face appointments, or my appointments, I do them normally face-to-face. So I'm a visual learner, so that this is how I teach is visually. So Tim, if you will, please give me the next slide. Awesome. So this is a documentation that I made eons ago where it really simplifies Medicare, because I feel like a lot of clients just maybe don't understand how Medicare does truly work. They know that then they turn 65 years old, that they know that they get on Medicare, they get Medicare from the government, and they know that they need some sort of other supplemental insurance. But do they really know why? So I really do feel it's important to educate our clients on how Medicare works and why you need some sort of other supplemental insurance, whether that be a Medicare supplement plan or a Medicare Advantage plan. But how it works is, I believe, is really important, because when those, as you all know, it is a saturated market. When you turn 65, all agents want a turning 65 lead. So when I talk to my clients, I want them, when they answer the phone, be like, nope, I know how Medicare works. Anna's got me. So there's going to be four major parts to Medicare. There's going to be Part A, which is going to be the hospital side of things. Part B is the medical, C is the Medicare Advantage plans, and D is the prescription drug plans. So today we're going to focus more on Part A and Part B of Medicare. And Tim, will you get the slide, please? Fabulous. Okay, so Medicare Part A is going to be the hospital side of things. It's the room and board. It's literally when the client goes into the hospital, it's literally the bed that they sleep on, and the walls around them is what that's getting billed. So Part A is Medicare. The turning 65-year-old is technically gets Part A for free, if you will. So that means that if they've worked about 10 years or 40 quarters, they get Medicare. There is no premium to Part A. If the client goes into the hospital the first 60 days, so 1 through 60, they're going to be responsible for $1,676. This is a benefit deductible. This are the red, the print in red is going to be for 2025 pricing, and then black is going to be 2024 pricing. So it has gone up from previous years, but $1,676 is what the client is going to have to pay if they, once they step into that hospital, that's going to be their responsibility. The 61 to 90 days is going to be $419 per day that they're in the hospital. And then 91 to 150 days is $838 per day that they're in the hospital. So as you can see, that these can add up. And unfortunately, Medicare does not have a cap to these numbers. So this is why it's important to explain how Medicare works, because this is why somebody would purchase a supplemental plan or a Medicare Advantage plan to help fill in these gaps that Medicare is leaving behind. There is skilled care is going to be billed under Part A of Medicare as well. Skilled care, so here in Nebraska, it is snowy, rainy, icy. The client was walking down the stairs, they fall, they break their hip. They're going to need some sort of skilled care or rehabilitation to utilize. So Medicare does pay for the first 1 through 20 days. The client is responsible for nothing for the first 20 days. Now, there is going to be some stipulation and some regulations that Medicare does put in place that they do have to abide before they will pay out. Some of those requirements are they have to be in the hospital for 3 days if they are an inpatient. 30 days after leaving the hospital, they have to go into some sort of rehab or some sort of skilled care facility. Again, 30 days after leaving the hospital. And they have to be showing improvement. That is the kicker. They have to be showing improvement. If they are not, then Medicare will stop paying for it. So 21, if everything is going good, Medicare will pay for 21 to 100 days. The client's going to be responsible for $209.50 per day or per time that they utilize the skilled care or the rehab. It has gone up from last year. Last year was 204. Now, anything 100 days or after, this is where Medicare does consider this to be long-term care. This is where Medicare considers this to be a not showing improvement. The client is no longer getting better. After 100 days, they consider this is long-term care. And so when this is going to be the portion of the presentation where I stop and I ask the client, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Client, do you have any sort of long-term care put in place? By utilizing this presentation and asking them these questions, it kind of flows. So do you have long-term care, whether that be individual standalone long-term care, a life insurance with a long-term care rider involved, annuities that have an income rider that can help offset some of the cost? Do you have anything like that put in place? And a lot of times the client will say yes or no, but unfortunately a lot of times the clients will say no, that standalone long-term care can kind of get a little too expensive, or nope, I really never really thought about that, or nope, my kids are going to take care of me, or whatever the case may be. A lot of times I hear the answer no, and I don't have any long-term care put in place. So with that being said, Tim has some pretty amazing product lines that may be able to help the client and understand a little bit more about what they can do for that long-term care replacement.
Awesome. Thank you, Anna. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Yep.
Okay, sweet. I had to switch headsets, had a little bit of some technical difficulties. So we're going to give you 3 options here with a long-term care annuity. Now, the great benefit of this product is it's guaranteed issue. So in this instance, you can see up here in the underwriting class, we've got a secure rating. So what that means is this client has significant medical issues or is already confined or can't complete 2 out of 6 ADLs. So even if you have somebody who's already confined, we can get them, in this scenario, a 60-year-old, 145% enhancement on their money for long-term care. This vests at 20% a year. So at year 4 and 1 day, it's going to be 100% vested. Then that's going to grow with the indexes that are inside of the product. You've got great 4.5 fixed rate or an 8% S&P cap with some other options as well. And this number right over here, the 2677 in year 5, that would be paid out over 60 payments, so 5 full years. The requirement is that the client is still on claim, which means they're either confined to a long-term care facility or can't complete 2 out of 6 ADLs. Let's say that you have a client that's not confined, but has some underwriting issues. Maybe they had a stroke 5 years ago or a heart attack 6 years ago. A lot of times that's going to make them very hard to insure. So the standard class comes in and you can see that we're getting even more benefit. So instead of $2,600 a month, we're up to $4,100 on that standard. And then if you have somebody that is in good health, hasn't had any major medical issues, you can really see how we can get 320% on their money. Oh, sorry, that skipped this slide there. 320% enhancement. So we put $100,000 in. After that vesting, at $6,080 a month. If you do the math, you're going to see that you're going to have a huge return on that investment. One other thing about this product is it is non-qualified only. We do have qualified annuity options that we can also utilize for long-term care, but this product is non-qualified. But that also means that that payout, that enhanced 320%, is also non-taxable. As a reminder, this product works for both confinement or home health care, and the doctor just has to send in the letter that says the client qualifies. But let's say that their in-home care is only $4,000, they're still going to get that full $6,080. Kick it back over to you, Anna.
Awesome, thank you. All right, so the next portion of Medicare is going to be the Part B of Medicare, which is the medical side of things. So it's anything done to you or for you. This is where a lot of the claims do come from. So if the client goes to the doctor or they get lab, everything that's done to you or for you is going to be billed under Part B of Medicare. So there is going to be a premium that is involved with the Part B. Part B premium for 2025 is going to be $185 per month. Compared to last year, it did go up. Last year was $174.70. So 185 is the 2025 pricings. Normally, everything in red that you saw, normally those pricings do go up every single year. There has been some years previously that I went down, but normally all of this stuff does go up every single year. So Medicare does make changes every single year to their plans. So Part B premiums 185. This is the portion of my presentation where I can dive a little bit more into their income or maybe their assets. So this is the portion where I'm going to talk a little bit more about money. Because the 185 actually has to do with the client's income. So what that means is that the 185, if they make a certain amount of money, this 185 could be a little bit different. So I will ask when I'm going through and explaining what this 185 is that I will ask the clients, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Clients, does 185, does that either come out of your Social Security or banking account? Does that sound about right? And they will, based off of their reaction, will let me know kind of where they are financially. So if the client, struggles and hems and haws and said, man, this 185, I am struggling to pay this. It goes up every single year. I don't know if I can pay it every single month. That will kind of tell me where they land income wise. And Tim, if you go to the next screen. Awesome. Okay, so this is where will determine kind of where they are as far as their income goes. So if they tell me that, gosh, we have 185, if you look on the first line, it does say for a single person that it's 106,000 or less. So I know that person where their income lies and with what they filed for taxes is going to be $106,000 or less. And then I kind of have an idea of which direction that I'm going to go when I'm talking to either about the supplemental plans and also the money plans. If their reaction is, oh man, gosh, I wish I did pay 185, I pay 370. Well, based off of this chart, that gives me an idea that as a single person, their income was about 133 or 133,000 up to 167,000. So that tells me, okay, they probably are a little bit more financially stable. They probably have some money somewhere. So I really want to dive deeper more into the asset of things or their wealth management side of things. So this gives me an idea by using the IRMA chart, and Tim's going to talk about IRMA here in just one second, but IRMA is the income related monthly adjustment amount, which pretty much means that the amount that you pay in addition to your Part B and Part D premiums. So it's just in addition to the already 185 is the base point, and then from there, based off of your income, is what you are going to be paying for your Part B. So with that being said, I'll let Tim kind of explain to you a little bit more about IRMA and kind of how that works and maybe how to utilize some of these plans when we're talking about the money side of things.
Awesome. Thank you, Anna. And just a reminder, if you do have any questions, now's a great time to get those in there. We've only got a few more slides, and we definitely don't want you to lose out on that opportunity. So what is IRMA? income-related monthly adjustment amount is a Medicare surcharge that kicks in when clients exceed specific income thresholds, leading to a higher premium. So Anna just showed you that chart. So that is what is IRMA. With a lot of agents that I talk to right now, when I bring up IRMA, there's one of two different responses. The first one is, yeah, I've heard of it, but I don't really know about it. And then the other response is, yep, I've heard about it, and I've taken courses to learn how I can utilize that as a wedge to work with the clients that I work with. If you have not beefed up on IRMA, we can definitely help out there. We've got some IRMA guides that we can get over to you. But by utilizing fixed indexed annuities, you can strategically help clients manage their modified adjusted gross income more effectively, potentially reducing IRMA exposure. Since annuities do grow tax deferred and do not count towards the MAGI until the distribution begins, they can be a powerful tool in retirement planning and help clients control healthcare costs while securing guaranteed income and growth. So with that being said, if you do identify a client that's going to have some income, we wanted to show you here real quick some of the options that we have. So we've got a pretty young client here. They're at 60. I probably should have done 65 now, retrospect. But you can see we've got a 6.8% benefit rate. So if you're going up against an investment advisor, and let's say they've got an old 401k, they're likely going to be drawing that down for a 60-year-old somewhere between 4 and 5%. So immediately you can already see where we're going to be able to beat that by 1.5%, maybe 2%. And our solution with this fixed indexed annuity is going to provide income for life. So when you get into the sequence of returns and doing drawdowns with those old 401ks, if you're drawing down 5% a year and your assets lose 15, 20%, now all of a sudden in the span of 3 years, you've lost 30% of your nest egg, and that can have some huge impacts to the clients. With the fixed indexed annuity, that income is going to be for life. So this 60-year-old is likely going to live somewhere into their late 70s, early 80s. If you have joint clients, there's an 87% chance that one of them will live to at least 90 years old. There's also an impairment multiplier on this product as well. So if your clients are confined to a long-term care facility or can't complete 2 out of 6 ADLs, we're going to double this payment for up to 5 years, and then it's going to revert back to that initial $6,800 for the life of the client. Now, let's say you've got a client and they've got some funds and they want to defer it. We can see that same $100,000 premium, and we're letting this roll up for 10 years. Instead of $6,800, we're more than doubling that. Again, this is guaranteed. So even if the stock market doesn't do anything for those 10 years, your clients are going to end up with a $15,375 annual lifetime payout. Now, as they're drawing that down, there's also going to be an accumulation value that could be passed on to their beneficiaries as well. And this product too offers doublers for long-term care as well as for 2 out of 6 ADLs. So lots of great fixed index annuity options. Do talk to agents that said, wow, I just didn't realize that these benefit rates were as good as they were, or didn't realize that there were doublers for those income and how long that it's guaranteed income for life. So a great solution as you're talking to those folks. Again, like Anna said, she's asking questions in that first initial meeting, not going into the annuity or the life insurance solutions, but asking those questions to help identify which of her clients are going to have a solution that a problem that she has a solution she can solve, as well as the finances to be able to afford that fixed and fixed indexed annuity. So with that being said, I've got my third poll question here. And where did those polls go? Just a moment here. And that is, would you like information and to get sent? I accidentally started that and stopped it all in one mouse click. So with that being said, we do have an IAMS Medicare cross-selling kit. In that kit, you're going to have tools and resources designed to help you position life insurance and annuity options to those clients after you've had the whole Medicare process completed, because again, we can't do this at the same time. Additionally, you're going to have social media posts and letter and email templates that you can send out to those Medicare clients to drum up that business. And then we're going to have some additional tools and resources that would be client approved that you could utilize in those appointments as well. So I do apologize. I botched that poll, but we will get that Medicare cross-selling kit out to everybody. Anna, it does look like we've got a few questions here. Did you want to take a hack at answering any of those real quick?
Absolutely, yeah, let me take a look. Okay, so one of the questions is that are you concerned that asking long-term care questions at a Medicare appointment would be considered cross-selling non-health appointments? So there are two different types of appointments when you're an insurance agent. You have a Medicare supplement appointment and you have a Medicare Advantage appointment. During a Medicare supplement appointment, you can ask questions. And honestly, in both you can ask questions, but with the Medicare Advantage, you can't really go into details about any other product line besides just your Medicare Advantage. So you do need to be careful when you have a Medicare Advantage appointment that you are being careful with some of these questions. But Medicare supplement appointments, you can ask all the questions that you want. So great question. Thanks for bringing that up. You do have to be careful when you are running Medicare Advantage appointments. And if you have any questions about Medicare supplement versus Medicare Advantages, please reach out to me because there is a lot of rules and regulations when it comes to Medicare Advantages that could be a whole different webinar. But so when you do ask questions, just be aware of what kind of product that they do have. And again, this is a portion of my Medicare presentation. In the beginning of my presentation, I do go into a little bit more of what they have before I really do start my presentation. So because of this is more focused on cross-selling to other product lines, this is just the portion of my presentation that allows us to really do ask those questions.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Well, as a follow-up and just to close this out, this is a first part of a three-part series. The next two webinars, we're going to unpack that Medicare cross-selling kit and continue to build this out. So we wanted to start with the foundation. When you start with that client, what are some key areas? So, if they're paying, in the $400 for the Medicare Part B, well, that might be somebody that we might want to put a note next to their file and talk to them about income after we've gotten through, the process. So I really appreciate everybody hopping on. One last thing here is as we make our calls to you, just realize that Anna is going to be, again, that health expert for us. And then Sergio and I are going to be on the annuity side. So as we reach out, if you've got some health questions or on that side, we'll certainly get you over to Anna. But if you do have any questions on how to position those annuities with those solutions that we saw today, Sergio and I would be more than happy to help you out. With that being said, I appreciate everybody hopping on today. We're going to go ahead and conclude. Have a great afternoon. Bye now.